Welcome back, everybody. Monday, May 24th, 2021. Finally put together the kind of day I like to put together yesterday. And again, that's what happens when you start to pay attention and see what the rituals are and who the rituals are running through. So, Ja Morant yesterday. Again, just to recap yesterday, Ja Morant and the Grizzlies were the big value. And again, just all three, the two play-in games and now this first playoff game, have been perfectly scripted through Morant. The next game, I believe the next game is Wednesday. So this game's not going to have the same kind of alignment with the Grizzlies as prior games have. But there is something, I'll save it for Wednesday. There's something to watch out for. There is a chance the Grizzlies come out and sneak out another one. And what's funny is before yesterday, I didn't even realize that Donovan Mitchell was out. I didn't know that he was out. They were still big dogs, even with Donovan Mitchell out. But yesterday, again, the 76ers looked rock solid to beat the Wizards, which is no surprise. I mean, they were a big favorite. But remember, these stats up here are not updating, but the thing that made it look like it was a gimme was the Wizards could get that 23rd away loss on the 23rd, and they did. And in the last 4 days, there's been 5 games where a team could pick up the home or away win or loss that just went with the day of the month that we're on, and those games are 5 for 5 in the last 4 days. If the Blazers win tonight, that pattern will become 6 for 6 in the last 5 days because the Blazers can get their 24th away win on the 24th tonight, which is something we talked about on Saturday. If the Blazers won Saturday and Lillard's 56th playoff game, the hot number, they'd have the chance at the 24th away win today. But anyway, this was the one game with the surface level thing, and the 76ers took care of business there. The Suns and the Lakers was super iffy. LeBron is known for losing game one. Somebody called in and said LeBron could get his 21st game one loss in the first playoff match at 21. That ended up being exactly what it was. Phil Mickelson got his 6th major yesterday, 21, the 6th triangular number. And his caddy, his family member, Tim Mickelson, his name equaled 143. It was the 143rd day of the year. Like we talked about, Mickelson equals 142. He was leading after the 142nd day of the year. And remember, about a year ago to the day, him and Tiger Woods did the coronavirus charity tournament with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. The Hawks, when they won with 107 yesterday, you notice the score was 107, 105, 212 points, New York, the 212 area code. But when this happened, the 107, 107's the 28th prime. The Hawks became 2-8 versus the Knicks all time in the playoffs. And like we said, the Hawks have a good chance to sneak out 2 of the first 3 to make it 3-9 just because 39 shows up so much with New York. But again, I am rusty, and I should have thought about this more yesterday. We shouldn't be talking about this now. We should have saw this yesterday. Because this would have, I think some of you guys went with the Hawks just on the idea that they could win 2 of the first 3. But what I should have remembered is just that Hawks is 28. And they became 2-8 versus the Knicks. And they won with 107 points, the 28th prime, on the Trae Young floater. And then the Grizzlies, that 112 again, remember that was the big number of focus with Steph Curry coming in with 112 playoff games and the entire Memphis roster with 112 playoff games. But they win with 112 over the Jazz, and they made that dramatic. The Grizzlies had a pretty big lead there late in the game like they did against the Warriors, and they nearly brought it back. It was a 1-point game for a moment. And I got to admit, man, I actually like watching Dylan Brooks play basketball. That guy is crazy, man. He is a crazy man. He went to Oregon. He's the only thing well, you know what? I got to admit, Ja Morant, his game is pretty smooth and pretty. He has some great leaping ability. But, yeah, the NBA is hard to watch, man. No defense. All narrative. Okay, so anyway, today's games, Heat at the Bucks, Blazers at the Nuggets. The Bucks still have that narrative alive that they could win, go up 3-0, and make it 4-8 against Miami all time because Milwaukee Bucks 48 in that Most Pierce cipher. They've never won a series against Miami. If they did win this series, they'd be 1-2 in series versus Miami, a bit like 12. Milwaukee's 37 in the most pierced side for the 12th prime. I've talked about year after year how it seems like they sync up rituals with Milwaukee and Portland, and that's because these cities have very similar gematria, and they're both playing today. Milwaukee's 137. Portland is the same way, 137. That's where the 137. But here's what I see in today's games. Again, the notes are down in the description. You guys all have access to these notes. Today's got 34 date numerology. Both Heat and Bucks equals 34. And I'd say the Bucks are more the 34 team just because, Giannis is the star player, number 34, in terms of right now. But that 34, it could go against the Heat today. If the Heat lose, they will get their 34th loss of the season. And that definitely stands out. If the Heat lost today, they would become 79-50 versus the Bucks all time. Today's got a lesser date numerology of 50, so the date numerology actually goes against Miami in two ways. The date numerology, by the way, is 34 and 16. Heat equals 34 and 16 as well. If the Heat did lose, they'd become 19 and 19 away. Normally, the number that we track on Mondays, because Monday is named after the moon, and moon equals 21, and lunar equals 21, and we've seen a lot of 21 rituals on Mondays in sports. A number that is related to the moon is 19, because it's on the 19-year cycles. And remember, in the last Blazer game, they made 19 three-pointers while Damian Lillard was wearing the silver shoes. Silver represents the moon in alchemy. And that was 57 points, and moon is 57. And we're just 2 days away now from that total lunar eclipse of May 26th. These series will be going on then. But I noticed if the 19s fall tonight, they would go against the Heat in this game. And then in the other game, where is it? The coach of Denver in the playoffs, he would get his 19th playoff loss as well. So I was like, now again, I've never tracked a 19 pattern with Mondays, but I'm just, we're always trying to learn more and expand, and there is definitely a thing with the moon in 19, so perhaps they play today in the NBA as well. But looking at this game, again, Milwaukee has the narrative of going up 3-0 alive to become 4-8 all-time against Miami in series, and we've seen plenty of patterns in overall series playoff records over the years in the NBA. That's why we're watching those things. And again, the date numerology seems to be in Milwaukee's favor today. The date numerology definitely in favor. Miami is 1-3 versus Milwaukee now this season. That includes the regular season. If they lost today, they would fall to 1-4. Miami Heat's 43, the 14th prime. 1-4 could be looked at as 4-1 from Milwaukee's perspective. They could go up 4-1 versus Miami. Remember, 41's the 13th prime. Both cities start with M, the 13th letter. Miami likes to do a lot of 13 rituals. Again, we're often talking about how, not in the base ciphers does Miami equal 99, but in that English extended cipher, because we see a lot of 99 in Miami sports rituals that we just talked about again. This first game went to overtime, 99-99. Jimmy Butler had a pretty easy lay-in, number 22 on the 22nd to tie it up 99-99 to send it to overtime. But when you write out 13, it's also got that 99 connection. Just these 13 cities. And speaking of 13, today is 169 days after Giannis's birthday, which has a square root of 13. And it's also his 45th playoff game, and when you write out 13 as a word, it equals 45 forwards and backwards. So I see a lot of 13 right there. And, I didn't really see any other way that 13 could play in today's game outside of Milwaukee potentially going up 4-1 over Miami for the year, the 13th prime. And also, Giannis could get his 24th playoff win today on the 24th. That's not the surface level pattern we've been tracking. Again, it's been the team records, but it's not to say that we can't pick up on a pattern like this too. So we'll see if Giannis gets his 24th playoff win on the 24th today. And then Jimmy Butler, he's got a nice alignment today, Jimmy Butler. Again, if Miami won, I'd have to think that the ritual was all through him because almost everything points to Milwaukee here. But Jimmy Butler, today's his 253rd day of his age, which is the 22nd triangular number. Basketball's 22. He wears number 22. It's also 113 days before his upcoming birthday. The National Basketball Association 113. Of course, he's one of the game's big stars. It's going to be his 75th playoff start in the 75th NBA season. His 78th game, but his 75th start in the playoffs. And his next win in the postseason is 37, which is a Milwaukee number. That doesn't have to come today. The Milwaukee coach, he could get his 34th win today as well. He's got the I swear I noted that down. Here, I don't know why that's. I thought I brought attention to that, but hold on. Let me make sure that's in the notes. I swear to God, I'm writing things on these things that are not sure. I don't know if I'm forgetting to save and closing it. What is in the world? I swear I wrote this already down. Can pick up 34th win on 34-date numerology. Again, Heat equals 34, so does Bucks. So the coach of Milwaukee could get his 34th playoff win today as well. He's on 16 with Milwaukee. There is the 16-date numerology. And Heat does also equal 16. He doesn't have to stay on that, though. And again, if Miami were to only win 2 in this series, the Miami coach would have 87 wins, and Milwaukee Bucks is 87. So we brought up that point. Bring it up again. And it was a very close game. First game, Bucks won by 2. But yeah, I got to say, more of the things that, again, this is the stuff I always look at. The stuff I always look at, more lines up for the Bucks in today's game. Only concern would be how nice Jimmy Butler's alignment is with his birthday, and that it's his 75th start in the 75th NBA season if it was all about Jimmy Butler tonight. But man, all these other indicators do not look bad for Milwaukee, and they very well could go up 3-0. And then the Portland Nuggets thing, again, I will remind people there's no such thing as a perfect pattern, but there's patterns that get hot, and you'll win at least 80% on those patterns. Again, just this surface level stuff. The home-away wins on the date of the month since the play-in tournament began and the start of the playoffs, if a team can pick up the home or away win or loss that goes with the date, so today's the 24th, and the Blazers can pick up the 24th away win, those patterns are 5 for 5 right now. They have not missed. They are 5 for 5. They're perfect. Blazers have a shot at the 24th away win on the 24th. And the Blazers right now are 43-30 for the season. Their next win is 44. Portland does equal 44, as does Rip City. And here, Rip City's the nickname for Portland. Now, there is a relationship with 44 and 144. It didn't work out for LeBron yesterday. Yesterday was 144 days after LeBron's birthday. Had the Lakers won, they would have got their 44th win. Didn't happen. But still, there is a pattern with this. When you write out 44, it equals 144. It's the 144th day of the year. Again, Portland, which does equal 44, can get its 44th win and take a commanding lead over Denver in 2 road games. And again, that 24th away win, it's hard to go against the pattern that's 5 for 5. I doubt through the entire playoffs this pattern will be perfect because I've never seen any pattern in this that's ever stayed perfect. But does it stay perfect today? I'd say there's a good chance it does. And let me see. Denver is 1-2 versus Portland in playoff series. If Portland won, they'd become 3-1. Denver does equal 31. And Blazers are 110-95 all-time versus Denver. That's regular season, postseason. And I feel like something's missing. Oh, this year. They're tied 2-2 right now for the year. That's hard because Denver equals 32. And they seem to like 32 in Denver because, remember, the Broncos, the football team there. Denver's 32. Broncos got that 32. But either team could become 3-2 today in Denver, so that's unclear. And I suppose it's Jokic's 95th day of his age, and if they did not win, they'd stay on 95 all-time wins. Here, let me note that down. Denver could stay on 95 all-time wins versus Portland on his 95th day of his age. And Lillard, it's 313 days after his birthday, the 65th prime, or it's his 314th day of his age, like pi. 52 days before his upcoming birthday. I guess you could say span of 53. Is it Trailblazers that's 53? Yeah, it's Trailblazers that's 53. All right. That's the 16th prime. You got this 16 date numerology too. This is Lillard's 57th playoff game. Remember that thing with the moon? Moon 57. 57 points in three-pointers in his last game, which was his 56th. And when you write out 3, it's 56. And if you missed the Portland-Denver game, I didn't see all of it, but I saw where I happened to turn on right where Portland got hot. Portland was down 12 when I started watching the Portland-Denver game. It was the third quarter. And then Lillard, started pulling up from 5-6 feet behind the three-point line and just drilling shots. And then, McCollum got hot. And it was just NBA Jam, you're on fire. And before you knew it, Portland had a lead. I was like, wow, I think that was the fastest I ever saw a 12-point lead closed in NBA history, man. They just scorched right through it. But, they've done some big things with Lillard this year. Don't forget the Houston blackouts. Portland was the city that had the longest blackout in the nation, even longer than Houston's, and it was all synced up with Lillard. So they've done some things with this man this year. And the Denver coach is on 16 wins in the playoffs. I suppose he could stay on it. Can stay on 16 wins on 16 date numerology. And again, he'd pick up his 19th loss today after the Blazers just sunk 19 three-pointers. I think I copied and pasted this. So Portland's coach picked up his 22nd win on the 22nd of the month. Let me double check something real quick, make sure I didn't forget to do anything. That's not the way to get there. Terry stats is what I need. 1 second, I just want to make sure this is right. They have not updated this. So yeah, he picked up his 22nd playoff win on the 22nd, which was the last time they played. And they have not updated their site for this year. You can see it's blank. So he's at 22-40 right now in the playoffs, correct? They haven't. That's weird that they haven't updated this from 2 days ago. What's going on with Basketball Reference? But yeah, this should be 21-36. That's what it was before. It was his 57th. Think about that. It was his 57th game with Portland, and they scored 57 points from three-point land. Today is the coach's 181st day of his age, and Trailblazers is 181. That's the 42nd prime, and I don't think there were any 42s on the board because the Blazers are now on 43 wins. They did win 42 in the regular season, which probably in tribute to Trailblazers 181. So, again, the Blazers have what's been the most consistent pattern that we've zeroed in on today. And they are slight dogs again, just like they were the other day, so there's a little value there with Portland. But if they do win, 24th away win on the 24th. And if Portland and Milwaukee both did win today, the teams that have the Gematria connection, the 19s would play in both games on a Monday because, again, the moon's on the 19-year cycles. Miami would fall to 19-19 away, and the Denver coach would pick up his 19th loss in the playoffs. Let's make this note, too. Blazers hit 19 threes in last game. All right, I'll write it this way. In Game 1 versus Denver. Okay. Okie dokie. Yeah, I'm going to keep it short and sweet right there, you guys. I don't... Listen, if you want to call in today, please call in about basketball. Again, when football season gets closer, we'll talk about football. If you have some other killer observation about today, great. But, again, just... I know a lot of you guys are newer here, and I've lost the veterans in the community because they now all have their own Patreon pages, which I'm totally cool with. I'm glad to see other people are doing well off this knowledge. But I got to admit, in taking the recent calls, I'm like, should I even be taking calls anymore? John's doing a great job. Shout out to John. John's doing a great job. There's been some other good calls, but just, we don't need to be connecting games to 9/11. This isn't how we've ever decoded sports. It's usually surface level stuff. Just here you guys, something that, again, I'm not following the NBA anymore. If you guys don't know anything about the NBA either, you don't need to call in either, I suppose. Because nobody had called in and told me that Mike Conley now plays on the Jazz. You guys, Mike Conley on the Jazz is a big deal. Mike Conley played his whole career for Memphis. When did he go to the Jazz? It must have been recently. This year, a year ago. Must have been sometime in recent times. Mike Conley's now facing his older team. This is the stuff they do in sports. I wish somebody would have called in when Memphis and Golden State were playing each other and said, Mike Conley's on the Jazz. He could end up playing his old team because you know what? Mike Conley yesterday, game 1, was 32 weeks after his birthday. You know why I now know that Mike Conley plays on the Jazz? Because I watched the game yesterday. I said, oh my God, Mike Conley's on this team. For those of you guys who don't know Mike Conley, big star in the league, Ohio State with Greg Oden. He played almost his whole career with Memphis. But this is how they script it, you guys. These are the kind of observations that matter, not too much over-decoding of numbers, and when I write out 24, it equals this, then when I write out this, it's just like that is too abstract. Hey, Zach, did you know that Mike Conley could play his old team? That's the kind of call I need, because then I would say, oh, good one, let me look at that. Mike Conley played game 1 against the Jazz 32 weeks after his birthday on the nose. Grizzlies 131, the 32nd prime. Utah Jazz 32. You see, this is the kind of stuff that's important. I don't need you guys to show me new ways to decode things. I'm showing you guys where you want to look at the numbers. The winning things are in what we're looking at every day. You just got to zero in to which pattern they're going with. And that's what you'll notice if you study this over time. For a while, they'll be doing like, man, if it's the date and there's a prime number relationship, that's money in the bank. And then sometimes, like we've seen in these playoffs, they're not going that way. So you have to zero in on what they're doing, not start looking at super obscure stuff. Again, it's mostly all surface level. It's right where I give you the stats every day. But also knowing who's on what teams they've played for in the past. These are the other kinds of things to be aware of. And I haven't heard anybody call in about Mike Conley, how he could have been going up against his old team, which he now is. Those are the kind of calls I need. And that's why the people who are now making channels are the kinds of people who I recommended, because they'd always call in with information like that. I'd say that's exactly what I need to know as a man who does not watch sports anymore. But okay, I might be able to watch the rest of the Memphis Grizzlies games because I enjoy watching the crazy man Devin Brooks play. Hold on. Let's open up the phone line here. Let's not go overboard. Call in with a great thing. And again, too many guys are calling in and talking for 10, 15 minutes at a time. I don't need you guys to call in and talk for 10, 15 minutes. If you have something that's important for the games, you should be able to get that out in a minute or two. And a lot of the people that I'm letting go on, I'm just trying not to be rude, but I mean, they're just like doing all the, it's just too much. If you have a great observation about the games, make it succinct, Okay, the line is open if you guys want to call in. And we got our first caller from Connecticut. Connecticut, you're on. I can't hear you. It's in the switch. I got to switch over. You got to call back, Connecticut. Sorry. What's up, 713?
What's up, Zach? How you doing?
Doing all right. What's up, man?
Hey, man, I just put something in the calculator the other day, and I want to get your opinion on it. It's going to be a real quick question.
Okay.
So if you put, can you type propaganda into the calculator?
Okay.
And then it's just funny how if you type propaganda in the calculator, gatekeeper matches propaganda in all four. So does globe Earth. That's propaganda in all four.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
I don't think, I mean, the gatekeeper things are interesting, but I don't, again, that phrase globe Earth is not a real phrase. A globe is a model of the Earth. So, again, and this is why, your call is actually why I was thinking about not taking any calls today. I got to be honest. Your first call is the reason I was thinking about not taking any calls today.
So you don't believe in Gematria?
I'm just saying we're here decoding basketball. I mean, and this is the first call? A windstorm and then this? I got to move on, man. See ya. 775?
Hey, I just wanted to call in to let you know that LeBron plays on the Lakers.
Okay. All right, next caller, 470.
Yes, I called you yesterday about the Dominique Wilkins incident.
Uh-huh.
And so I did some more research, and the Bilbo name, that's Clutch Sports just hired Damien Bilbo Clutch Sports is the agent for LeBron.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so I just found that connection. So
That's a great observation. I appreciate that.
yeah, and then there's also a character named Bilbo in the Lord of the Rings. Like they're going for the championship ring, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. Yeah. So
All right. Appreciate that. Thank you.
okay.
All right. You have a good one. Okay, so that's interesting. That's an interesting observation. Remember the Kentucky player just signed with Clutch Sports and then he died in the car crash days later. And again, yesterday you had the story with Dominique Wilkins, the Atlanta Hawks great, being kept out of an Atlanta restaurant. The news broke the day of the playoff series, beginning with New York, where his brother Gerald Wilkins played for New York. And that story was 131 days after Dominique's birthday, and Atlanta Hawks is 131. So... And sorry, guys, I'm going to get more selective about who calls in because, again, we're trying to create winning here. We don't need, and there's a lot of trolls and shills who hang around here. I don't know who's calling in with the calls, but let's try to do better. So, till we do better, I'm going to be more strict with the calls. What's up, 401?
Going on, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
Just quick little observations where I think the Heat got a chance. So, in the playoffs, road teams versus home teams are 4-4. So if the Heat win and Heat's playing Bucks, that you see that 45 is big. They got the spread at 4.5. So that one, the 4 and 5 can kind of go either way. But the reason why I'm leaning towards the Heat is because if both 6 seeds win today, because they're doing something with the 6 and the 3, only 2 games, like 66. So I like Portland. So that would be my fault. I'm tripping. That would have the road teams at 6 wins, like 6 and 4, and then Portland can go 6 and 4, make road teams 6 and 4 in Denver. Denver equals 64.
Okay, if they're doing something league-wide, that's something to keep an eye on. So
Yeah, and then so including the playing games, the home teams are 9 and 5. It's the 4 and 4 in the playoffs, and it's 9 and 5 including the playing games. So if both road teams win, it'll be like 7 and 9. Like Miami Heat equals 79. Then I noticed that the Bucks can get their 11th loss at home. Bucks equal 11, and if Heat wins, they can tie the series up with 1-1-1. A lot of ones. So.
okay, yeah, those are all interesting. Those are all interesting observations. Yeah, if they're doing something league-wide.
Just throw that in there. So that's what I'm thinking. The 6 seeds today, and then another thing for the Heat. So today's the 24th. So from Kobe's birthday until today is 13 weeks. I heard you talking about 13, and I know you said Miami and 13 is big, so that's another reason why I kind of like Miami. And then they can also go 41 and 33 with the win today, Miami, for the season. Kobe numbers on the 24th.
What would they do that would be Kobe? 41 and 33. I think you're saying 41 and 33.
41 and 33, 24, 13 weeks exactly from his birthday to his up and coming birthday.
It's 113 days to Jimmy Butler's birthday, which I suppose is another Kobe thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's possible.
And I just think that Miami, like, just basketball-wise, like, maybe it is that Jimmy Butler thing you were talking about. Just, like, they're going to come out and, like, try to, like, not go down 0-2, which is very possible they can. And just, but it's going to be a tight game for sure. So I definitely like Miami with the plus 4.5.
Oh, so, yeah, you could take Miami with the points.
Yeah, just to be safe. You always got to be safe. Because sometimes you might like a team and they might just cover. So I'm just saying the safest bet will
Yeah.
take but line is no guarantee. So at least with Miami, if they do lose, you got a chance to cover. So just a smart thing to do.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Interesting observations. I appreciate it. All right. See you, man. Okay. 408.
Hey, Zach, just something real quick. Maybe we could wait till game time for the Portland game and see if Lillard's wearing the silver shoes because it's Monday. So that could give us a clue in real time.
Yeah.
And then
you can always bet real time in the games too. But yeah, if Lillard has those silver shoes on, perhaps that 19 plays again. That would play in Portland's favor. So
the other connection with Lillard and the Moon is he is from Oakland, and Paul Mooney was from Oakland.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, and then the other thing is watch out for things like the fake injuries too, because they had CP3 fake the injury with his shoulder, and then all the money went on the Lakers. So I think this game you might want to play it live, see how it goes.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.
See it. Again, the Blazers have that surface level riddle that stayed perfect so far through the play-in and play-off. They can get the 24th away win on the 24th of the month. And again, in that first game where we don't have that, there is 124 that could play for Milwaukee, and that's Giannis getting his 24th playoff win. 614?
Yeah, hey, it's John.
What's up, John?
Hey, man, speaking of that Mike Conley, I heard you mention Mike Conley. Did you know his first playoff appearance that he had with Memphis, he upset number 1 seed San Antonio in the playoffs?
That's exactly what I mean, man. That's the kind of stuff you got to know. So that's history repeating itself, and the whole game was synced up with Mike Conley. That's how they do it.
No, what I mean is, the point I'm trying to make is, when they played San Antonio was a number 1 seed.
I totally got your point, and I just said, yeah, exactly. Okay. So history repeats itself, except for it happens to him by his former team.
Yeah, so it could happen. Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, we got to watch Memphis because I think and I'm sitting there watching the games. You notice how they keep heaping praise. Oh, this young team, they're so talented, they're dangerous. And, yeah, maybe they'll just, win a couple games and Utah moves on. But you never know, man. Here,
imagine this. Think about this. If the Lakers get past the Suns, which we all expect, and Portland gets past Denver, if Memphis upset Utah, you'd knock out the 1, 2, and 3 seed. So you'd knock out all the top teams.
All for the 2, 1, 3? Yeah.
Well, and then the path it would just be like the pass real easy for the Lakers, So
exactly, they're like clearing the path. Yeah, it's like getting the good team out of the way.
I have trouble imagining that Memphis is going to win that series. I don't know when Donovan Mitchell's supposed to come back, but there is a chance that Memphis gets up 2-0 because if they do, it was that thing about the 32 where Utah Jazz is 32 in the most pure cipher and Grizzlies is 131 the 32nd prime. So.
And my other thing about that is, you remember how they like to cross things, reference, and do things with sports. There's just a similarity between Memphis and Tennessee Titans in the NFL. How they snuck in 2 years ago as a wild card into the playoffs and then caused chaos and made it all the way to the AFC Championship game and then lost to the Chiefs. Right. I mean, that's the same Tennessee team. It's kind of the same idea. It's like, man, they just snuck in. It's kind of like a wild card. It's kind of the same idea. And when you look at all these playing teams that have made it, we know that the Wizards aren't going to do anything. We know that Boston's not going to do anything. The Lakers, we expect to do something, but they're favored. And it's like, man, one of these teams from the play-in, I think the Grizzlies are going to cause some chaos, man. We got to keep our eye on them. And then,
just real quick, what it was. Utah was 3-0 versus Memphis in the regular season, so they've now fallen to 3-1. And if they lost again, they'd be 3-2 just for the year, where that number plays with Utah. So,
okay.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
That goes good for Miami. Upset equals 54. TNT equals 54. And then I think Mike, coach's birthdays. It's 251 days from Mike Malone's past birthday, and that's the 54th prime. So that's a nice little 54 alignment.
Wait,
and then,
is Mike Malone the coach at Denver?
Wait a minute. I've got something different going on. Let me see.
Mike Malone's the
Oh
Denver
yeah, I was
coach.
talking about the Portland game. So
Wait, it's
that
not.
kind of lines up.
It's you got something wrong with his birthday's January 1st. Mike Malone, Denver coach.
Yeah.
So today his birthday is New Year's Day. So today's his 144th day of his age, 143 days after his birthday, right?
Who's the opposing coach?
Who's what coach?
Let me see. Who's the opposing coach?
Portland coach. It's his 181st day of his age, and Trailblazers is 181.
Okay, must have crossed them there. But you mentioned something about with what's his name, Jokic. How it's a span of 95 days from his birthday, and how they're on 95.
I'm not missing that. I just covered that, man. It's in my notes. I covered that.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said you just mentioned earlier about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Denver can also fall to 9-5 in the division against Portland.
Okay.
So that's why I say it's good. Sometimes they've been pretty good. Those division records. Sometimes they can, like you say, sometimes they can be very misleading. But other times you see like a triple alignment like this, like this is not spending 95 days and they're on 95, wins, and they can fall on 9. You see these little alignments pop up every now and again, and sometimes and they come through a lot of times. But sometimes they can be very misleading though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My favorite thing about the Portland game is just that perfect pattern, just picking up the home away win losses with the date because it's there again. So.
Mhm. There's a 251 somewhere. I can't.
Hold on.
With Mike Malone.
I know that just the other day, like yesterday was 200, or Jimmy Butler's last game was 251 days after his birthday. A coach had that like in the play-in game. Or it was the Memphis. I think the Memphis game was 251 days after the coach's birthday when they beat Golden State.
Okay, yeah, it's 251 days from his past birthday.
Who?
Mike Malone.
No, his birthday's New Year's Day. Or no, hold on.
Oh, they got.
No, I screwed up something.
His birthday.
I screwed up something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I screwed up here. Whose birthday do I have down? I screwed it up. Okay, I see I got the wrong birthday down for him. That's weird. Let me make sure I didn't screw up something just totally here. I got the right stats for Mike Malone, don't I? I got the right stats. Oh, you know what? I used Mike Malone's birthday on Basketball Reference. Wikipedia has a whole different birthday for him.
Oh, they do. That's where I got mine from, Wikipedia, yeah.
I used the Basketball Reference one.
Oh, yeah, they do. What the hell? See, this might be them trying to throw a monkey wrench in our information, man.
I trust Basketball Reference before I trusted Wikipedia.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Damn.
Wikipedia got a whole different birthday for him, so.
They do. That's sick, man. Hey, I got a question for you. You know how Nikola Jokic has that accent over the C in his last name?
Uh-huh.
Why the hell does that change the value of the name in the
because
cipher so
if like just same in Spanish words, if it has like the accent on it, it counts it as a null value, so it's like the letter doesn't even register. So.
Okay, which one did you use? Both.
I use both. I'll use it with the null value and look at it that way, and I'll type it out and make like a regular C instead of the C with the accent and look at it that way. Here, for people who don't understand what he's saying here, I'll just show this right now for people who don't get what he's saying. So Jokic's name has that accent over the C. So when you put that in the Gematria calculator, it reads the C like there's not even a C there. Watch, when I delete the C, nothing will change. So that's how his name is with, his native spelling, but I always look at it both ways. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting because if you do his full name with an accent over it, his full name sums to 44 in the full reduction, and his coach's name sums to 44 in full reduction. Portland's 44, and then the arena in Portland equals 44. So I'm like, I think it kind of makes sense for him to get that 44th win in Portland. You know what I mean? Kind of has some rhyme and reason to it. Instead of getting it today, but
Moda
I've seen
Center, that's
all
what
those
it's called.
44th lineup. Yeah.
They're not playing in
I was like,
Portland,
man,
though.
maybe
They're not playing in
that's
Portland.
what I'm saying. I'm saying when they do play, that's what I'm saying. When they do play in Portland, I think they'll get, because right now they have 43 wins. I think it kind of makes sense for them to get that 44th win when they actually play in Portland, because all the 44s that line up.
It's possible. It's possible. The pattern would have to break. Today would be the day that the pattern finally didn't come through, getting the 24th away win on the 24th. But that's 5 for 5 right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough one to go against.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride with you on that one until the pattern breaks.
Yeah, because I mean, it
I'm gonna ride with that one.
seems silly to go against it, but you do got to recognize that nothing stays perfect. But right now, it is 5 for 5 playing in playoffs.
Hey, my last question, I'll get off. Sorry I didn't keep it too succinct, but as far as the playing games, you remember Portland had that playing game last year, right?
Against Memphis, yeah.
How the hell do we know? Like, because I like to keep track of career records for coaches, you know, and it kind of it's just, how do we know if that was Do you know if that was counted as a playing game, or
It didn't.
I mean,
they didn't add it. They didn't add it to their records last year. I don't think.
they didn't?
Mm-mm.
Now the seeding games, were those added to? Those were added, weren't they? The seeding games in the bubble.
Last year?
Yeah.
Well, I thought
Weren't
those
were regular season
those
games.
were regular
weren't they?
season games. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's that one game. I'm like, man, see, they're just going to make it harder to keep track of the
They're
shit. 'cause we're gonna
creating
have to
all
go to
sorts of
another-
stuff. Did you see what the NBA proposed the
Yeah.
other day? A mid-season tournament? It's like, what's going to be the point
Exactly,
of that?
man.
What's the point of that?
I know.
A mid-season tournament? What?
You already got all these players brittle as eggs and can't even last through the whole season. Why the hell would you even do something like that? I was just so stupid, man.
It just become it's all about all the new gambling and just that's what it is, man. And that's why things have gotten worse in recent years in terms of our consistency. There's just too much new crap going on. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we got to
So
pick
as
out
far
we
as
got to
play-
pick out the patterns they know they're going with, man. That's what I'm trying to do. Just document day after day until we figure out what it looks like they're doing. So,
Yeah. So as far as those playing games, you said that they didn't include it. I'm trying to find out where can we go to add in to, like, is there some kind of website where we can just look and see where these playing games are located yet, or do you have to wait for that, you think?
well, they said they're going to create a new category for playing games, so I imagine eventually it'll be there, but yeah, I mean, I don't think we got to sweat it too much right now because we have all the playoff stats and the play-in. They said that the play-ins do not count as part of the playoffs. So, and there's no, and we're keeping track of the extra wins and losses. I'm keeping track of every team's record for the year, play-in games and all. So we have it all right here in our own stats.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing I saw with Portland, who was it? Denver's on 24 conference wins too. I keep track of the conference and the division records because every now and again you'll see some alignments pop up. So
Yeah.
Denver is sitting on 24 conference wins, so that goes along with it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, man, I'm gonna get off of here, man.
All right,
Great
appreciate it,
work,
John.
man.
Good research.
All
Take
right.
care. 708.
Yeah, that observation I found. If the Lakers was to play, who was it? Utah and Portland after he played the Suns, that would be Kobe's death date. But if he plays Denver and he plays Memphis, that would be Kobe's birthday. That's all I want to say.
Hold on. Okay, so his birthday's August 23rd, and he died January 26th. So how are you connecting it with his birthday and his death date?
The seeding. I think
Oh.
Utah. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
I
you got
see.
it. The seeding.
I see. Okay, that's an interesting thought. All right, yeah, I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you take care. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, let me check in with the chat real quick, and Okay. Trying to check in with the chat. The chat's actually moving pretty swiftly. Hold on. 407?
Yo, Zach.
Yeah, what's up?
I noticed three things about the playoffs. So look, you know how we got the Lakers and Nets, right?
Uh-huh.
And how the finals this finals games are aired on ABC. I noticed that every playoff game so far has been for the weekend was every game was on TNT or ESPN except for the Lakers and Nets game. Those were on ABC, right?
I see what you're saying. Okay. And the finals are on ABC, you just said.
Yeah. So look, another thing, I noticed that they sometimes show in-game stats, like when you're watching the game. Like I noticed when the Mavs were leading after the first quarter against the Clippers, they showed a stat saying the Mavs are 27-0 when leading after the first quarter, right? And Saturday is 28 in the pure cipher.
Right.
It became 28-0, right?
Right.
So boom. All right. The last thing, I noticed you just had a confusion with the birthdays of Mike Malone. If you ever have confusion, you could either check their Twitter or Instagram to see like when they shouted them out for their birthday and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Did you do that for Mike Malone?
No, I did not. I just came up with
It's January 1st. I just did his Twitter. It's January 1st. Happy birthday to Michael Malone, January 1st, 2019. So there it is.
Boom. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say, man.
Yeah, great observation. By the way, your thing about Saturday actually has the double connection to 28 because it's also 107, the 28th prime, kind of like Hawks yesterday went in with 107, Hawks 28, improved to 2-8 versus the Knicks. So.
Yeah. And then didn't the game finish 107? A game went to overtime has 107 and 109, and then the Bucks game went to overtime on the Saturday.
Yep, went to overtime 99-99, yeah. Saturday score 107-109, you're right. Yep.
All right, man.
Yeah, good ones. Appreciate it.
No problem.
469?
Yeah, how you doing, Zach? This is E.
Hey, what's up,
calling
dude?
again. Yeah, so I really wanted to call. I'm at work right now. I really wanted to call because last night I was peeping a lot of stuff going on with all the games, and it had something to do with Drake. And I remember talking to you listening to the show last time. My bad, I'm kind of nervous. But I remember hearing on the show last time, and you guys were talking about the Forever song that he made a long time ago with Lil Wayne and Eminem.
Right.
And he has a song that he just recently dropped. I'm not showing the date, but he has a song that he dropped. It's called "What's Next." Drake.
Okay.
And on all the games that they show, especially on TNT, like as soon as they go on commercial, they've been showing Drake. They've been promoting him throughout this whole playoff series, and they're showing him playing the song to see what's happening next. And I did the Gematria on that.
Oh, go ahead. I just know something funny about. I just know something real funny about Drake that I'll share when you're done. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, Drake. What's next? I typed that in the Gematria, and it says it has 173, 56, 205, and 79. See what's about to happen next? It has 317, 101, and it also has a 332 and 116. It all just depends on how you type it, but I've been seeing the same numbers, and then Drake equals a 39. I've been seeing the same numbers. I just wanted to know if there's anything that you knew about that, like if you could connect to something for me.
What's Next is the name of the song?
What's Next, yes.
And it equals 35, 109, 46. Got those numbers in it? The 35 is big with LeBron, King James, and then the 109 is a Los Angeles number. But what I just looked up, since they synced up the finals with Drake the other year when Toronto won, I just had to look from his birthday to the start of the finals. It's 257 days after his birthday. That's the Los Angeles Lakers number. Los Angeles Lakers is 257, and that's the 55th prime, and King James is 55. So.
Yep. Yeah, and I've been seeing it's just crazy because there's like no reason why they should be playing and promoting Drake this much throughout the whole playoff series, and I just feel like it's connected with him. And one more thing I had before I get off, I was watching the Utah-Memphis game yesterday, and they had posted up a stat, and it was kind of weird the time when they did it because with the time they posted this, Memphis was down 13 points, and it basically said Game 1 winners win best of 7 series 76.2% of the time. And I've been seeing a lot of 76ers low key in the social media and all that. So I just wonder if that was any numbers you can link something with too.
Well, the next game for that series is going to be 76 days from Ja Morant's upcoming birthday. And again, the thing I usually talk about with 76 is just how they use it in Black history, because like the first Black president, Barack Obama's 76, and Negro slave blues, they all equal 76.
MLK,
Yeah, Million Man March on the day.
MLK.
So the one thing that's interesting about Memphis, though, in the next game being 76 days from Ja Morant's birthday, is that if Memphis wins, they get their 42nd win of the season, another number stamped on Black history. And I'm usually talking about the 42-59 because Slave is 59, but it is also 76, and Slavery's 42. So I'm actually wondering if they could do that through Morant in the next game and take a 3-2 or a 2-0 series lead.
Yeah.
So we got 2 days to think about that, but yeah. So
yeah, it's crazy because they're coming out with like a lot of storylines. I don't know if you guys on this panel, I don't know if you guys actually pay attention to like social media, like Instagram, Twitter, whatever. But when they post these little stories, these little clips, I feel like people need to pay attention to them because the numbers and the people's ages, like it's all connecting with the sports, and it's crazy because the video that went viral some years ago, the Charlie Bit My Finger, it's at 700. It was sold for $760K at NFT auction today.
I saw that headline. I don't even know what that video is, but I saw that headline. I was like, "What in the world? How much? What?" So
it's crazy, and they had the 80 connection, and yeah, it's just crazy. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say, though.
All right, appreciate it, man.
You guys could connect anything to that.
Yeah, good thoughts. Thank you. Okay. I see the over-unders at 222 in that Heat Bucks game, and Milwaukee Bucks got the 222 connection. But yeah, between the two games, if I could only pick one game today, the one I would like more is because there's more value with Portland. And again, it's just following that pattern that's 5 for 5. And don't count on it to stay perfect forever, but you got to ride the patterns that are hot. 609?
Yep.
609?
What's good, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on.
What's up, Zach? Hey, just some quick observations for the games I seen nobody point out. So I was watching the Phoenix game. Jay Crowder scored the 99th point.
Number 99.
For them.
And then they won with 99.
Number 99 scored the 99th.
Yeah, they won with 99. That's a good. I got to see how many days it was from Jay Crowder's birthday. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then he kept trying to score after that, but they got stuck at 99. Then also when LeBron flopped against like when he shot that free throw.
When he got undercut by Chris Paul, he got undercut.
Yeah. So when he flopped, they were at 77, and then like when he got to the bench and everything after all the scuffle, it was like Lakers 7th seed and 77. Isn't this like the year of like sevens or something like that?
Yeah, the score was 77-86. It was. Yesterday's game, for the record, yesterday's game was on Crowder's 322nd day of his age, 322, which is also 46 weeks, and Phoenix equals 46, who won. So it does look like they actually synced up that game through Crowder with all that 99 stuff. That's a good observation.
Yeah, that's crazy. Then another thing I thought about with the storyline. So Chris Paul and Melo are like LeBron's best friends. So LeBron can beat his friends before getting to the Western Conference Finals.
And friends equals 75, like it's the 75th NBA season. And the dude from Houdini just died at age 56. And now Snoop Dogg's doing the coronavirus Corona beer commercials. And they keep playing the Friends Houdini song right after. It's not long after that guy dies. So there's something going on with that. Yeah.
Exactly. So just like when LeBron was out with Drake, because Drake and LeBron are good friends too. So and they didn't suspend him. So I believe, like I said, if Portland wins, then LeBron should play Portland next round. And then I'm not sure yet if they're gonna. I only watch the media just to see like what hints and clues they give to like who's gonna play who. So like I think they want the battle of LA now that they're letting fans in.
but I'm not too positive on that. But yeah, so LeBron will play Melo next round. He'll beat Melo, and then he possibly might play the Clippers, or he might play Luka. Now, one thing I did want to ask is, I'm trying to see, because I know you like the Nets going up 3-0 against Boston. They do sync a lot of stuff up with Kobe, or like trying to make Tatum like Kobe's new protege, like a new Kobe in the league. So I don't know if there's like, he might do a game 4, but he did like 3 50-point games this season. I don't know if there's like an upset on one of the games for the Nets.
Well, again, if Boston does go, or not Boston, if Brooklyn goes up 3-0 over Boston, like I think they're gonna, I was also explaining why I think there's a good chance Boston would win that game 4 to keep the series alive. Because again, for people who haven't heard me say that, if Brooklyn goes up 3-0, they're 11-2 versus Boston all time, and Brooklyn is 112. It's 104 in reverse, like they scored 104 points in game 1. But then if they lost that 4th game, then they'd be 11-3, that favorite number in the NBA. By the way, that series did begin on Tatum's 81st day of his age, Kobe being Bryant 81. So
exactly, that's what he's supposed to be like the new Kobe, but he's on Boston. So, and then like Brown's out, and he's like out of 58 games. But yeah, I'm gonna do some more research. But it was just certain things in the game that I've seen, and I'm like, nobody's pointing that out. That could help with how certain games go. But I think LeBron does play Portland next round, and he might play the Clippers in the final, Western Conference Finals. But we'll see.
All right, great thoughts. Appreciate it, man.
All right, man.
All right, thank you. Okay, you guys are doing a good job today. Sorry if I was hard on you earlier, but I just want to make what we're doing more impactful. We don't need people going on and on and on about all this obscure stuff that's really not that helpful. Again, be efficient with the calls, make great points, and I think everyone's pretty much doing that today. So, 816.
Hey Zach.
Hey, what's up?
I wanted to call this real quick for Mike Malone's birthday. I'm not even sure if any of these days are his real birthday, but the one they're rolling with, I know you're rolling with January 1st, but the league is rolling with, if you remember, when the Nuggets beat the Clippers in the playoffs last year, they won that Game 7 on his birthday, which was September 15th, and they kept saying how this was, Jokic kept saying how this was Mike Malone's, how it was the birthday to Mike Malone. They won on his birthday, on his 49th birthday. So they're going with September 15th, just to let you know, if you'll remember that.
Here, I'm just looking up that story. That's weird because on his own Twitter, he's getting happy birthdays on January 1st.
Yeah, see, he said something about that. I don't know, like when he did, he said, man, people were sending me weird text messages. He was like, don't believe everything you read or something like that. When people were saying that, and then like a reporter asked him, so what's your birthday? And his response to him was, what do you write in a book? so it's almost like, I don't know, but I do know that they said that his birthday was September 15th, and that was the day that the Nuggets beat the Clippers in that Game 7. And I don't know if we even had that information then, because although I already had the suspicion that the Lakers and the Clippers weren't going to meet, but maybe if I knew that, I probably would have rolled with the Nuggets. But I don't know. But I know it's 49th day of his birthday. It's 49th birthday.
Well, okay, so here they do have an article about it. So September 15th is also his birthday according to ESPN. Apparently he has 2 birthdays. This guy has 2 birthdays.
Yeah.
What in the world?
Yeah, so I was just saying, because that's what the league was rolling with. At least that's the league narrative, right? That's usually what you on the road with, and so, and I found that response to be funny when he gave, like, what do you write in a book? Like dude, he just asking you your birthday.
Yeah.
So,
what is going on with this? This dude has 2 birthdays. What in the world?
I don't know, man. But, yeah, I remember that. I wanted to bring that up because I remember that story. When the Clippers won, it was his birthday, and I'm pretty sure that whole series probably synced up with him then. But we probably would have known that if we were looking at January 1st the whole damn time, So
that's crazy. He really does have 2 birthdays according to all this information out here. I want to have 2 birthdays. This guy's a genius. So.
exactly right.
All right, I gotta add this note in here.
yeah,
We got to measure from both days. He has 2 birthdays. I don't know what to do about this. All right, man. Appreciate that. Thank you.
no problem.
All right, see ya. Okay, he does. I never realized this before. Somebody with 2 birthdays. This guy must have a twin. No, it couldn't be his twin. What in the world is going on, man? Got a doppelganger. All right, hold on. It just shows how these guys are all. This is how they do it, though. This is how we know these guys are all characters. They probably don't even use their real names or birthdays. They just set it up all for the ritual, and they screwed up with him. They gave him 2 birthdays. What in the world? 951.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just kind of let you know that Carmelo, obviously playing his former team, his next birthday, his 37th, is going to be on Game 4. I know that he wears number 7. So
that's a great piece of information right there, because Portland is 37 in the most Pierce cipher. So man,
exactly. So yeah, he might go off again. He went off Game 1. He had a good game off the bench Game 1. So I saw that. Obviously 4 days away from his birthday. And then the other point I was going to make for people that are thinking that the Mavs might upset the Clippers, because I think that might happen too, and play the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. If so, it might be a repeat of the '88 Finals 33 years ago. Okay. And they're doing the Luka Larry Bird sinks. So 33, then you obviously Kobe 33, and then that might be something we might want to look at if that were to happen. If so.
Well, Luka did start the playoffs this year with his 7th ever playoff game in the year of 7s, Mr. Number 77. So, yeah, we'll have to watch that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that series myself.
No. I was just saying if that happens, because, I mean, that's still dicey. But I just have a bad feeling that they're not going to give us the All-LA final, Western Conference Finals this year. But if they went with Luka, it might make sense, because the whole 33 thing there, and they're even calling him Baby Bird again, like Skip Bayless and them are calling him that again today. So it's like, damn, like there he goes again.
Yeah. Great observation. I appreciate that. All right, thank you.
No problem, man. Bye.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we just saw he has happy birthday on January 1st on his Twitter, and then we got the article about him winning on his birthday on September 15th, so that is a weird thing. But again, I mean, we know what the winning stat has been. It's 251 days after the second birthday. We saw somebody, we did see a coach win with that the other day. It was the Memphis coach beating Steve Kerr. And that's why we said in that game, we're like, man, if we just looked at the coaches and the players, it looks better for Memphis. But Curry had that 113 thing for his next playoff game, which will probably... I wonder if Curry will move teams in the offseason. Him and LeBron could end up being teammates. That would not surprise me. But his 113th playoff game likely will be against one of the 1-1-3 teams. And, of course, Dallas wins with 113 points in their first playoff game. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to add today. I couldn't go against Portland. I couldn't do it, man, because then I'd be going against the 5-for-5 pattern. But you guys can do what you want. If you guys like Denver, ride with your guns. It's not like I've been hot since I came back, but I'm getting in my groove here, and I feel good about yesterday. Yesterday was big payola. If you did my parlay yesterday, you were a happy camper. But and by the way, if you did my parlay yesterday, anything you would have lost on anything prior to that, you should be up ahead. So we're up ahead since we came back for the week. We want to be in positive territory, but now we want to build on that. I didn't like being in the negative territory, but that's what I get for not paying attention all season. What's up, 702?
Hey, Zach, Chris from Vegas again. I called yesterday. Great job on that pick with the Memphis. We talked about that Lakers a little bit. That number said the Lakers were going to win it, but you know what? It didn't come through. So I wanted to just talk about a little bit on the gambling side of it. I know you're on the other side of what I look at, but real quick, a lot of people were texting saying, hey, can you elaborate a little bit more?
Hey, just for the record, I wasn't against your pick yesterday. I was torn on the LA Phoenix game. I didn't have much of an opinion on that game, so I wasn't against you.
Well, No. For me saying it didn't come through. The number showed me well, but sometimes that number doesn't go through, and I'm going to elaborate on why you're such a fucking master and why these people, when they can catch on to the other side and master it with your side, and this is where that 80 to 90% comes through. People are like, man, I don't know about this 80, 90% of what this guy said. That was really quick. I was nervous, but I just want to elaborate. At any time you say, hey, Chris, enough's enough, I'm done talking, just cut me off, okay? I live in Las Vegas. I moved here in 2010. Real quick, as I'm working here, I'm betting all the time. I lose. I'm constantly losing. I'm losing. So what I didn't do is I didn't throw my tickets away. I kept my tickets. Every losing ticket I kept in a dresser drawer. Okay. So one day I run into a guy named Jim Feist. If you can, Google him. Google Jim Feist, Las Vegas. In the 1970s, he started the Las Vegas first telephone gambling site. This guy's huge in Vegas, man. He walks around. He's highlighting. I know nothing about him. I'm working in Vegas as a valet attendant. He constantly pulls in my work. I finally run into him as I'm betting all the time. I'm constantly losing. I ask him, hey, man, I want to learn how to gain conversation with this guy. I don't know what to do with. I'm nervous. I'm highlighting, but I'm constantly seeing him, and he's giving me $100 bills to leave his car up front so he can leave on a constant basis. So I'm very intrigued. So I walk and I say, hey, man, is this what hard work gets you? And he goes, well, if you call sports betting hard work, I guess. And at that point, I go, man, as he's walking away, this is 2010, so I believe it was the OKC Finals with Cavaliers, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, James Harden, I believe. I'm trying to recall. Okay, so going back then, Jim Feist looks at me as he's walking away. I ask, I say, can I ask you a question? As he's walking away, he gives me a $100 bill. We're not supposed to talk to these guys at work. So, guys, I live in Las Vegas. Please don't come say anything to me. Never mind. But anyways, we're not supposed to talk to these guys at work. But anyways, as he's walking away, I ask him for a conversation. I said, hey, I know you said it's sports betting or something. I said, does it have a lot to do with the stars? Is it as in the players, the big names and stuff? And he goes, Chris, it has so much to do with the stars that it has to do with the numbers. In me, I have no idea. So I'm constantly thinking, fuck, what the fuck does he mean? He walks away, as it does with the numbers. So the very next day, this is no bullshit, I go to my dresser drawer, I pull out all these sports tickets from fucking William Hill. Constantly sports betting losers, right? I open up all these tickets. It's baseball season. And what is on these tickets? Losing numbers. Guys, everybody out there listening, listen to this shit. And then follow with Zach. I'm telling you guys, take all your losing numbers. So I take all these losing numbers, right? I got hundreds because I was nothing. I was dead meat. I was dirt, bro. I open this dresser drawer. I got all these losing numbers. I take a college ruled paper notebook. I start writing down these losing numbers. I work valet at the work. So I'm constantly in Vegas. I constantly see the betting, and I can constantly see the Vegas numbers in Sportsbook. It's right there. It's degenerate, right? So I write these numbers down. The very next day, I have a book of losing numbers. I walk up in the room of the sports book. Guys, listen, I hold my book up with losing numbers, and I try to find them on the book. As I'm looking for the book, I look for these losing numbers. I go the other way. As I go the other way, I start to see a pattern of fuck. Shit is hitting. Not only is it hitting in basketball, I can find this number in soccer, ice hockey, baseball, boxing, fucking cockroaches, fucking, sorry, but that's what it is. It's crazy. So you start to see this pattern, right? So now I go from losing all the time to constantly winning, constantly on the other side of the right number because I have all these losing numbers. So now the very next day, I get numbers from every book. There's many sports books here in Las Vegas. You got the Station Casinos, you got William Hill, you got Tanner. The very next day, I take all the papers that the Vegas releases out for every sport. I fold the paper of all the players, stats, the names, everything that they had, I fold it. It's irrelevant. Zach's right. It means nothing. It only engages is to take your money. So you fold that paper, and then what do? You bet with no emotion. You follow the number. Now I'm following numbers. I'm coming to work, and people are like, who the fuck is this guy, man? He's hitting everything. I hit my first 10-teamer. I'm not fucking with you. I hit a 10-teamer in 2011. Andrew Luck, down 8.5. He's in college football. Stanford, down 8.5. I got a 10-teamer for $2, 700 to 1. Boom, it hits. He comes back. That shit was incredible. I hit another 2 10-teamers in Vegas, right? Following this pattern, these numbers. And now I go, holy shit, I'm onto something. And what happens? Loose lick shit. A lot of people want to know, how do you find this shit? Well, look, you're telling people this shit's a Broadway show. It's scripted. It's a fucking scam. You live in Vegas and people look at you like you're crazy, bro. What are you talking about? So you don't say shit like that, right? All they want is what, Zach? All they want is the winner.
Right.
They don't want to know how you get it. They want to know how do you get it? Just give me the money, bro. Give me that. No, this is hard work, bro. What you do, Zach, it's not easy, bro. And the shit that you've been taking over over the years, these people need to get off your shit, bro. For you to do what you do, because here's one thing about Zach, guys. He doesn't just do sports. He does everything. He does every topic out there. We've been following him for years on Illuminati, Freemasons, the Bible, the church. This guy does topics on everything. So for him to take his time out and to master this shit and try to get it for us actually is a blessing, bro. And then to do what I do, like I said, you write these numbers down every day. So what I would do is remember, the paper would be folded. I would then put a C next to the number after that team won, right? So the next day, I would open it up. I would now have all these numbers of winning numbers of teams that won. So then I would take these winning numbers with baseball numbers, with overs and unders. I was constantly writing down, putting an arrow up or an arrow down, 49.5, 51.5, 50.5. Well, did this game go over or did this number go under? Now you're just playing the number. Now, what do you start to see? Now you start to see the script of the game. Halfway through the game, the ball's going off their head, off their knee, off their shoulders. They're missing every shot. There's a magnet in that fucking game. This shit is so fucking scripted. There's a fucking magnet. And here's the thing. When you start to see it with numbers and no one telling you, and I have no one in Las Vegas that I can go to and say, hey, man, I'm following numbers. People are going, what the fuck are you talking about following numbers? I don't even know what the fuck that is. And you start to give them winners, and then what? They follow you. Then it gets too big. I got people paying me all the time. Boom, boom. Then they don't understand why a number doesn't hit. And this is when you come involved, Zach. They don't understand why a number's hit. Well, this number hits out of the last 10 games in a row. The Portland number tonight is minus 114 and 106 on Vegas Insider opening lines. You're right. Portland's going to win tonight. If you're on the Vegas side of the number, you take Portland tonight. Chris, that's my name, and that's what I'm saying, Chris. Milwaukee Bucks tonight, money line, they're going to win tonight, guys. The number says Milwaukee money line. When Zach agrees, I'm on Zach's side with that shit. He said something today about the 222, the over and under. The Vegas numbers to me that I've been following for 10 years on a consistent basis, 222.5 goes under. So if you see that number in the last 10 games, guys, write this number down. In the next 10 games, see how many times that number goes over and goes under. And if you know that number goes over 8 times, then why the fuck are you going to go in the book and pay for it to go under when you already know it's going to go over on probability of 80%? And next thing you know, shit starts hitting on a constant basis. And hey, nothing's 100%. Why? Because Vegas has to lose too. They got to scoop money, bro. There's no such thing as perfect in life. But I tell you what, like you say it every time, guys, 60% is a good number, bro. Because you can't go broke with a little bit of profit every day. And all you got to do is hit a couple games. You don't need 20 fucking games. That's what they do. You walk in the sports book, what? You got 200 games on that board. Each game has a different color, red, blue, red, fucking yellow. It's all close together. You're confused. You know what? They take your money. Hey, the parlay word for French is sucker. So they want you to parlay that shit, to sucker your money, to take it. You want real money? You want to be a millionaire? You want to make money and make moves? You straight bet, and you be consistent, and you do the right thing, and you only do it with the money and not emotion. And that's why ESPN is telling you, hey, fucking, there's $80 million on one side. Well, they don't really talk about the money, but you can follow where the money is. But they're telling you, hey, I think Utah's going to win. And in the meantime, Utah's got 80% of the money on that side. And they'll never talk about the money. They're never going to talk about the number either. But this shit is scripted. So, and it doesn't matter what sport. So everybody out there, I'll get offline. And if you want to hear more, maybe I'll come back tomorrow. But I have a book of 10 years. And if you just want to learn with Zach shit, it can give you reassurance that you're on the right side. People want to make money, and they want to gamble. And there's no one you can pick the phone up and talk to. So for this guy to take his time out of his day and to decode the other side of the gambling side, and that's why the number doesn't hit. Sometimes you'll see that number and you go, man, you said it was going to hit, but it hit 7 times, and this time it doesn't hit. Well, fuck, maybe there's a ritual that you just knew yesterday, like you said. I don't know that LeBron loses all fucking number one first rounds and all that shit, because I'm constantly thinking emotionless. I don't watch sports. I'm not into TV. I constantly just watch you, bro, and follow numbers for the last 10 years. My wife thinks I'm crazy, but I got a good living. You know what I mean? Sure. I live out by Mount Charleston in Las Vegas. But anyways, Guys, take those sheets out. The best thing to do is Vegas Insider. Go to the opening line if you want Zach to Google it. He can pull it up right now. Vegas Insider. Go to the money line. It's going to show right now if you want to know. It's going to show.
You cut out when you wanted to show. I think you might have like switched your apps. It messed up your sound. But I got him up here on Vegas Insider. All you do is you go to today's games, click scores, and then the line movements will show you where the line opened and what it's moved to. So based on the line movement, you can see where the money's going. So.
Yep, and just follow that opening number. Remember, there's the Vegas originator. The sharpest book you're going to get is William Hill. There's other fake books that will have the same numbers, and that's why they group the book up so much. So, for instance, maybe for you, Zach, today, if you wanted, print that Vegas Insider opening line on NBA and put a C next to that fucking number right there. And then when you see that number again in baseball, guys, it's minus 114 and 106. I'm telling you to go with Portland money line, okay? When you see that number again in a baseball game, in a hockey game, bet that number again, and I promise you that you're going to see a consistent pattern. I don't want to tell you 100%, be like, oh, man, I'm 100%, but you're going to see a pattern here. And then when you got Zach saying, hey, man, I don't know, there's something here with all that other stuff that he mastered that he knows that I don't know, that's when you can stay away. And guess what? You're still learning without losing money. You're still gaining knowledge and information. Zach, thanks so much for taking my call. Maybe I'll call again. I appreciate you, brother.
Well, I appreciate it, Chris.
Absolutely the man.
For the record, Chris, you're not the first person who's called in and said this. There's been a number of people over the years who say, Zach, you got to do more work on the lines because there's a lot of people have called in who are veterans and they say these lines are telling you things, and you've done over a decade of work, so you got the slips to prove it.
Yes, you have actually. You're on the other side of it that I haven't mastered, Zach. And I'm on the other side. They say a genius masters 10,000 hours. Fucking, Albert Einstein. Dude, I've been lost in sleep over this. I was the guy on my lunch break sitting at the corner writing books and books with people laughing. They're like, why is this guy trying to master this shit? And next thing you know, I'm fucking Rain Man, bro. Where now I still work at my same job for 13 years. I'm the fucking man, and I'm not joking, you guys. I fucking make money, man. It's simple and easy. Just follow the patterns. I'm not trying to pound my chest. I don't want anybody's money. And like Zach says, he knows there's people out there that does the same thing. So before you bet and give them your money, look at that opening line number every day. And WNBA starting to come up. Baseball season starting to come up. There's a lot of baseball games. Print that sheet. Forget about the fucking teams and highlight the number that hits. When you see that fucking number again in the next day or the next day, you fucking bet that number, or you wait for Zach, because Zach's going to talk about teams and different rituals, and maybe that number doesn't hit, but it will hit more than it won't hit. And at least it lets you know in an intelligent way, hey, I'm going to step back, because more people think you're crazy than they don't. Like, Freemasons, Illuminati, the real scripted shit is this shit, and you can't talk to anybody. So to have people like 300 people in your chat room and chat that you can actually get off your chest and not think that you're crazy without the trolls fucking with you. And even you, Zach, you're fucking interactive, bro. You talk to people, I don't know. But that was 5 to 7 years of a lot of late night YouTube videos of you, bro, getting kicked off, fucking, and just watching you fucking protest in Seattle, just everything.
Well, think about what happened this year. I felt like we were going to have our breakout moment this year after the Super Bowl, because the live stream after the Super Bowl, if you guys were here, it was up to almost 4,000 viewers, which I've never had a live stream, but it got cut off. And then for the next 2 days, I couldn't really upload anything because my internet was hacked. I couldn't upload a video. I couldn't live stream. I mean, I got fucked up right after the Super Bowl. They did not want this information out there, you guys. They don't want it out there.
They don't, bro. They haven't want this information out from day one, man. I mean, you wrote the book. You got this shit out there. They're trying to keep your foot off your head. But real people, they know. And it's hard to wake up real people, to be honest with you. Like I said, I can't go to my mom or my brother. I mean, I can. They're opening up a lot more with a lot more other shit other than sports. There's a lot more around this. Zach will talk about anything, and he'll wake your ass up. And he'll debate your ass. And actually, he's going to make you think about a rebuttal before you come back, because he knows his fucking shit on all topics. So that's the best thing about it, because like you said, you're free truth, bro. You don't need to do this. You're not in it for the money. You don't talk about the money. You just want fucking real shit. You have a goal you want to fucking do, and there's not a lot of people that do that because why? Got a bullseye on my head, on your head. Can I go to my work and fucking start spreading it? I work in Vegas, dude. I work at the #1 casino in Las Vegas. People, I'm not going to say where I work, but I work at the baddest casino you can work at. I'm not trying to fluff it around. And you see it, and you can't just talk about it because they don't want you diverting people's money or changing someone's decision or say, hey, man, I don't know if I like that side. I like the other side. And then he's going to bet 2,000. You tell him the other side. The casino loses the 2,000. I mean, the shit spreads around really quick. You know, you can't book. And like you say, it's all about value. The reason I don't do too much on overs and unders, like when you asked yesterday, is because the value is -110. Anytime you see the 222s and the, you know, the 7.5s in baseballs and all that, usually a 7.5 out there, guys, goes over. Anytime you guys see a 7.5 in baseball, it goes over most of the time. I'll say 75 to 85%. You see a 7.5 open up on the opening line in baseball. It's an over number, not an under number. So, you know, take the over. But there's really no value in that. So that doesn't get me, like, going. It's the fucking Grizzlies bet that you're saying yesterday.
Sure.
Hey, guys, fucking plus 350, bro. You know, that kind of shit. Thank you, Zach.
All right,
Sorry
Chris, keep up the good work, man. I'm going to work more on the lines.
Bye.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Bye, brother.
Yeah, I let him go on because I there's something to what he's saying, you guys. A lot of people have called in over the years and told me I need to focus more on the lines because there's very significant patterns in the lines. And a lot of people have come here and learned about my work. They're like, man, what I've always done for years is just learn what the lines are telling me and go. And we do know that sometimes the line we're just like, something is seriously off with that line. And then, you know, kind of what we're saying is what ends up happening. So here, let's leave it there for today, you guys. All right, hold on. One last call from Canada. Canada's going to close us out. But I don't want these live streams to be 2 hours each day. What's up, 819?
Hey, Zach, I saw that you had trouble with the Mike Malone birthday. The
2 birthdays for Mike Malone?
Yeah, I just saw, I remember in the bubble, it was his birthday in the bubble, like September 16th, they had an interview with him in the bubble, they were talking about his birthday last year, so.
Yeah, there's definitely, it's definitely documented that there's documentation for both of his birthdays. So, yeah, we'll have to observe both of them. But I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, take care. All right, you guys. Yeah, let's leave it there for today. It's 1:44 out here on the West Coast right now on the 144th day of the year. Seems like the perfect time to stop for today. So I just turned the phone off. Again, you guys, the beauty of Gematria is things like yesterday. You know, yesterday we felt really good about Memphis as a big dog. And like John was saying, he's in the casino. Everyone's betting on Utah, thinking that's Lock City. John's there putting his bet in for Memphis. And again, the more knowledge you have, the more you pay attention, the more you document. Just like the last caller, 10 years of documenting his slips. But the better you do. And again, I'm coming in here pretty rocky because I have not been doing anything with sports or following basketball at all and trying to figure out. But I've already learned some things in the few days. I learned just how much they like this Ja Morant guy. And because of that, we see, okay, they got the perfect ritual for Ja Morant to upset Utah. So what we will learn tonight is the date numerology mattering? Because if it is, sometimes the date numerology is on fire and you can really ride with that. Sometimes it seems like it doesn't matter. But if the date numerology is firing, that should be a good sign for the favorite Bucks. The value is with the Heat. To me, the best thing going for the Heat is just how things line up with Jimmy Butler. So if you want to wait and see on that game, I wouldn't blame you. But the one thing is, the Blazers do have the more value. They're not a super payout like Memphis, but they got more value tonight. They pay more than your even money. If you bet 100, you'll probably get 110, 120 back, something like that. But again, Portland has the pattern that's been flawless so far. And remember, nothing stays flawless. So never bet your house, but just stay consistent. Stay with the methods. You'll stay ahead of the curve. And But if the pattern's going to be 6 for 6 tonight, that means the Blazers will get the 24th away win on the 24th. And the one other thing to keep in mind in that Milwaukee game is Giannis does have a shot at his 24th playoff win tonight. So that hasn't been the pattern we've been documenting. It has been the surface level riddles. But again, Portland has that surface level riddle that's 5 for 5, and they're the slight dogs. And we did think that they're probably going to win the series this year. Portland and LA got something going on ever since. Well, Portland and LA have always had history, but again, when LeBron came to LA, his first ever game was against the Blazers. They've just been doing a lot of things with Portland and LA since LeBron came over. So I would not be surprised to see them going against each other in the next round. Assuming the Lakers get past Phoenix, they better get past Phoenix. And just to throw this out there, I don't think the Lakers are going to lose to Phoenix, but if they did, man, I might have to really... well, it's like we said before the year. I don't think LA is going to lose, but if they did, we'd have to think of a different team in the West. And before the year began, we liked LA to probably play Phoenix and Utah in the playoffs because they're the teams that kind of have the Kobe connections. Kobe's last game against Utah, when Kobe died, one of the biggest tributes in the league was Donovan Mitchell. Not Donovan Mitchell. He did have one of them, actually. Donovan Mitchell had a Kobe Bryant, but the biggest one was Devin Booker for Phoenix. He had the biggest Kobe ritual after Kobe's death. But yeah, I'm not worried about the Lakers. I'm just saying, should anything happen there, who would be the team to look for? To me, it would have to be either Phoenix or Utah this year. Phoenix is the only team with the true 56 connection, but I suspect the Lakers get it going. They didn't play very well yesterday. Nobody really did anything, and LeBron is used to losing game ones. But yeah, in the days going forward, I am going to try and start looking more at the lines, just like Chris called in and said, and many other people said over the years. There's just so many things to keep track of, but there's so many veteran gamblers that swear the truth is in the lines. And because we know Gematria, a lot of times we'll see a line and we'll be like, look at that line today. It spells out exactly this team's Gematria. And anyway, so... we'll do that. We'll leave it there for today. And I'm probably going to hop on GematriaEffectNews in a moment. And I'm thinking I'm going to go out and pound some pavement today too. So we'll leave it there for now.